Hello, I'm Farm Journal editor Clinton Griffiths, and welcome to Dairy Week. All this week we'll be honoring our dairy folks in the dairy industry as part of World Dairy Expo, which this week, unfortunately, when so many of us would be there, isn't happening. The annual Rite of Passage industry celebration, typically held this week in Madison, Wisconsin, canceled due to the coronavirus. Now, in a typical year, you'd find somewhere around 62,000 people attending from roughly 100 countries around the world. Like so many events right now, that decision wasn't made lightly. Here to visit with us a little bit about that, we have Katie Schmidt. She's the communications manager with World Dairy Expo. And Katie, this would be a big week. You'd be really busy right now on a typical year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. And like you said, this should be World Dairy Expo week. So we would be, gearing up for opening day tomorrow. Normally, today we would have our youth judging contestants on the colored shavings doing their contests and having all of our trade show exhibitors settling into the trade show, as well as those cattle all calling home to the new home pavilions for the week.
So many iconic parts of World Dairy Expo, from the grilled cheese to the ice cream, obviously the youth shows and the industry event. Talk a little bit about the decision to cancel this year. What went into that? What was kind of the catalyst behind it? Obviously, COVID-19 playing a big part of that decision.
Absolutely. So that was a decision that our executive committee and leadership team made already back at the beginning of June. We had initially planned on making an announcement on July 1st, whether the show was going to be a go or a no-go. But the situation really offered a lot of clarity already at the end of May, early June here in Dane County, which is where World Dairy Expo is held, with the public health and safety orders that were put in place. So really the writing was on the wall, and we wanted to offer our exhibitors as well as our attendees as much warning as we possibly could when we knew that we were going to have to cancel, which obviously was a very hard decision to make. And as we look back now, a few months later, we do know that it was the right decision to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Safety top of mind first and foremost for so many of those families out there where this is just a big part of their year, obviously. And a lot of industry and companies really like to take part in it because there's so much exposure involved with that. Talk a little bit about kind of what the World Dairy Expo is doing in lieu of that. You're not having a virtual event like we've seen so many other places.
Correct. So our trade show normally is home to about 850 companies who all serve the dairy industry. And they're there because World Dairy Expo draws 60 to 65,000 people each year. And it's bringing in producers and consumers and people who are going to be buying their products, which is why they come. So because they're there, because the global dairy industry is meeting, people use World Dairy Expo as a platform to launch new products and services and technology. And a few years ago, we introduced a feature on our website called Innovation Unveiled, which gives those commercial exhibitors a place to talk about their new products. And that feature has really taken a step forward this year as exhibitors use it as a place to really still engage with a global marketplace. On the other side of the street, we did introduce a similar feature for our dairy cattle show exhibitors this year as well. They use World Dairy Expo as a place to promote their genetics and their services. And without that happening and without a lot of other major dairy shows happening this year, we wanted to also provide them a place to find their marketplace.
So talk about where people can go to find that information, and then let's talk a little bit about next year and plans for next year, because I know that's already on the radar.
Absolutely, yes. So all of these great resources are at worlddairyexpo.com. It's also where you're going to find a link to our online Purple Cow gift shop, where we're donating 10% of profits to the National Children's Center for Rural and Agricultural Health and Safety this year. So we're really proud to be able to do that for that organization. It's also where you're going to find other great links to a new podcast that we'll be launching tomorrow and our participating companies list. So again, that's worlddairyexpo.com. And then you can find us on social media with Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for some great fun content this week.
All right. Well, Katie, really appreciate you taking a few minutes to visit with us. What's the number one thing that you're going to miss this week not being at Expo?
For me, like I think a lot of other people, it's going to be the people. Expo's a reunion for so many of us, and certainly something that our staff looks forward to all year. So to not be meeting this week is going to be really hard to do, but we'll find other ways to engage with people, and it just makes us more excited to see everyone next year, September 28th through October 2nd.
All right, well, we'll be looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us on Farm Journal Live.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know, USDA says you can expect to pay more at the grocery store for a while. It's raising its overall food price inflation outlook as the impact of the coronavirus continues to keep costs higher, including for dairy products. USDA now forecasting overall food at home prices will increase between 2.5% and 3.5% this year. Food at restaurants also expected to rise between 2% and 3%. Now, of the food categories tracked by the Economic Research Service, so far this year, beef prices are 10.5% higher. Fresh fruit prices, however, have fallen 1.4%. Where do dairy products fit in that? Well, they're expected to cost somewhere between 3 to 4% more in 2020. Now, earlier this summer, you might have seen this video. Olympic swimmer Katie Ledecky swimming a lap in the pool with a glass of chocolate milk resting right on top of her head. The video actually went viral. Millions saw it, and it inspired others to take part in the Got Milk Challenge. Of course, it wouldn't be Dairy Week if we didn't have Katie Ledecky joining us today. Now, just a quick introduction. She's the most decorated female swimmer of all time, has set 3 world records, 15 world championship gold medals, and 5 Olympic golds. Have you gotten used to that at all?
A little bit. I still pinch myself quite a few times a day, just reminding myself that this is my life. I love to swim, and I'm so lucky that I get to do it as my job now.
It's very, very cool, and you've had just incredible success. In fact, I think right now you might be most famous for a video that came out in the middle of the summer during all this pandemic stuff going on. Of course, we're waiting for the Olympics. They didn't happen this year, but this video of you swimming with a glass of chocolate milk on your head, part of this Got Milk Challenge. Tell us about that. How did that even happen?
Yeah, well, I've been drinking chocolate milk since I was about 13 years old after my workouts and my races. So it's been a natural fit for me to partner with milk for the last couple of years, and the team challenged me to do something amazing with my chocolate milk without spilling a drop. And so I thought it would be fun to see if I could swim a lap with the chocolate milk on my head, and it was a success. I tried it out, and the video that I posted was my very first take with the milk. I tried it a few times without the milk just to be safe. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe how much it took off.
Boy, yeah, it absolutely just went viral everywhere. And I think probably because most people are trying to figure out, well, how does she stay so smooth in the water? That's just incredible. And you did it on the first try.
I did a couple times after that too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So talk a little bit about the response. Were you surprised by the response?
A little bit, but I thought it would be a big deal, and we put it on TikTok and got such a great response there. So many kids doing lots of fun things with milk. They didn't have to do the swimming version. They could come up with their own version of the Got Milk Challenge, and it's been so fun to see all the different takes on it. We've had yo-yoing, we've had dancing, we've had basketball tricks, we've had Tony Hawk do some skateboarding tricks. So I mean, it's been incredible, and we've had so many views. I think we've had 4 billion views of the challenge on TikTok, and I think 7 million of my video. So it's been crazy.
That's just absolutely amazing. So how did you get involved with the Got Milk campaign? How did that even start?
Yeah, so as I said, I've been drinking chocolate milk since I was 13, and I've partnered with Milk over the last couple of years, and they told me that they were relaunching their Got Milk campaign, and I was so excited to be a part of it, so honored to be a part of it, just knowing its history and growing up as a young athlete, seeing some of the Got Milk campaigns growing up and those athletes. So it was a lot of fun to jump in and be a part of this.
Are there any of the old ads that you really liked that you remember as a kid? I think we all watched them growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember the mustache, and we're not bringing the mustache back right now, but the mustache milk, the got milk, and so many iconic athletes were a part of it. There's just a really long list of Olympians, NBA stars, tennis stars. I mean, every sport I think was covered in the got milk campaign as a young athlete. So as somebody who played a number of sports growing up, it was always fun to see those ads.
Yeah, when they came out, it was always kind of cool to see who would be up next. So this 2020 was supposed to be an Olympic year. Tell us about how obviously milk a big part of your training routine, but tell us about how training's been going and how this has all kind of impacted, preparations for the Olympics.
Yeah, training's been going well for me. It was very challenging at first in March when everything got shut down. I was out of a training facility, so I ended up training in a backyard pool, a neighbor's backyard pool, for about 3 months. It was a very nice backyard pool. It wasn't just a kiddie pool. So I was able to get some training in still during that time and keep my feel for the water. That's the most important thing as a swimmer, to keep your feel for the water. So I was able to do that, and then I'm now back in my more normal training facility, and so it's been great to just be back into a little bit of a routine and start working towards my goals again. And it's hard not having as many competitions now, and not having the Olympics this summer was a bummer, and all of that. But I also am trying to use this year as an opportunity to get better. I have another year to try to be at my best at the Olympics, and I know I'm going to be ready if I had that opportunity.
Yeah, and I think that's what everybody's looking forward to, is kind of getting back to some sense of normalcy and having the Olympics again in 2021. I mean, that's got to be something that you can really look forward to.
For sure, yeah. I think it's something that I've had my eyes on for 4 years now, and I can give it all I have for another year for Tokyo, and then I obviously have goals beyond Tokyo as well in my swimming, but I've been so focused on Tokyo for so long that I really want to make it worth it and make this year of training really great.
Katie, do you have any goals for some of the young kids out there that are maybe doing their own training and putting in the work of maybe some lessons about what it takes to be your best?
It takes a lot of hard work, and I think you have to realize that, accept that, embrace it. And for me, it's not about just the work that I put in the pool or in the gym. It's also about what I'm doing in every single other hour of my day. So it's that recovery piece. I drink chocolate milk after a workout. I get good food in my system. I eat well. I sleep well. I get a lot of sleep and stay really focused on doing all the little things right. And I think that's what you need to focus on if you want to take it to that next level.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for Dairy Week and being part of it. And of course, we're looking forward to the next video. Any ideas, any plans for another Got Milk Challenge?
I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to think up something. It's going to be hard to top that video, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Katie, for joining us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, for more Dairy Week coverage, we want to send you all over to dairyherd.com, and you can sign up for Farm Journal's Dairy Week. The free event features podcasts, ebooks, along with live and on-demand webinars. Our TV crews are also focusing on Dairy Week all week, so make sure to join us on Ag Day each day and U.S. Farm Report this weekend, and don't forget about Agri-Talk on the radio as well. That's going to wrap us up for today's Dairy Week edition of Farm Journal Live. I'm Clinton Griffiths. Have a great rest of the day.